Welcome back to White Mountains. Today I've got Bernadette Donahue from Badger Realty on the show. So nice to meet you.
Thank you, you as well.
Thanks for coming.
Nice to chatting with you.
Yeah, and so you guys cover a lot of the realty here in the Mount Washington Valley area, and you guys are right in the heart of the valley as far as your location for your office, but you guys cover a lot of territory.
We sure do.
So tell me a little bit about what Badger has to offer as far as a realty business.
Well, you know we've been here a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, and we celebrated our 50th year many years ago.
Congratulations. Yes, yes, yes.
So, yeah, Badger Realty has over 25 agents here in the Mount Washington Valley.
Wow.
We have two offices. One's in Jackson, New Hampshire,
Yep.
and one's in North Conway.
Yes.
One of the things we love about it is that they're both in the villages
Yes.
of Jackson and North Conway, which brings a lot of people in from the sidewalks.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've been to the one in Jackson as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Now that I'm thinking of it, yep, next
Well,
to
and
the
our
Wildcat
display
Tavern.
boards outside are so inviting.
Yep.
So we spend a lot of money and time on keeping those refreshed. But when people are walking around town, whether it's for something in the park or eating ice cream or shopping,
Yep.
all the time you see people stopping and gazing at our
Oh,
boards
good.
and doing some wishing and dreaming
Yeah.
of what they might want. And it's fun to be in the office and hear the different exclamations of, oh, look at this property.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Aw.
really fun. We also have an office up north, Badger Realty North.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And they cover the areas further than we cover. But these two offices cover a huge amount of territory because we're licensed in Maine as well.
Oh,
many,
yes.
many,
Yep,
many of
yep.
us. In fact, many of us live in Maine, like myself.
Yeah.
Brenda Levitt, our manager, lives in Maine as well. And so we're so familiar with the Maine and New Hampshire. It's almost like Mount Washington Valley, as the chamber goes. You know, there's no state line there.
Yeah, exactly.
We
It
cross
goes straight into
both
Freiburg,
ways.
and
yeah,
yep.
yeah. And we have some agents who live even further in Maine and have sold properties on Peaks Island and in Portland.
Oh,
And
wow.
So believe it or not, we cover a huge territory.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
And so, tell me a little bit more about what the process is like with you guys. So moving through the process, if you're looking into that.
Yeah, so, there's two sides of the coin. Everybody says, what's the market like? Is it a great market? And you have to be sensitive to both buyers and sellers' needs because, when it's a great seller's market, it's not always a great buyer's market. And there's got to be a balance, for it to be a good market for both.
Yeah.
So we've been in a very good seller's market recently, and the prices have been going up. Not to say, though, it's not a good buyer's market right now, which is kind of one of the reasons I wanted to speak a little bit today.
Yeah.
There's what they call an absorption rate, the amount of months it's going to take to sell a property. And, right now we're somewhere between 1 and 6 months, depending on the property itself.
Yeah.
But there's about 213 properties listed between condominiums and single-family homes. And the rate at which we're selling them, and I'm talking board-wide, not just Badger Realty, but the Mount Washington Valley, is about 39 properties a month.
Wow.
So it'll be 5.6 months before that's absorbed.
Yeah.
And that's if we don't have any new listings, which of course we always do.
Yeah.
And what that means is we're more closer to a transition market than a seller's market.
Oh, okay.
So that should be good news for buyers.
Yeah.
Because that means there's more inventory for buyers to choose from.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And the interest rates have come down.
Good.
So the affordability is a little bit easier. 1% makes a huge difference to buyers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and you just don't know those things until you hire a realty agent.
Well, right. I mean,
Unless you do a lot of good research.
Statistics are, all fine and good, and a lot of times people listen to the national statistics, and we hear it all the time, like, oh, it's a great seller's market, and everybody's selling their properties in a week or two, and multiple offers, and yeah, we have those, but they're not the norm.
Yeah.
And some sellers get really frustrated because it's been a month or 2 or 3, and they say, how come everybody else is selling so quickly, and how come mine isn't? And that's where a real estate agent is very helpful because it's not just listening to national statistics, and it's not just a sign in the yard and an ad in the paper.
Yep.
It's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on to find the buyers to meet the needs of both the seller and themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we go for the happy buyer, happy seller, and usually it works great.
Yeah. And it's a pretty amazing, thing that you're selling or buying or helping somebody to do because, it's somebody's home, right?
It's so true.
It's someone's home. So
Yeah.
even the seller wants to see it go to, you know, a nice buyer.
Oh, that is so
and
true.
the buyer is about to live in that place for the
Yeah.
next, you know, potentially the rest of their lives or for a very long time. So it's a very special thing.
It's a special thing to be a real estate agent because you do feel that. You feel like you're helping people along the way. And the transitions are not always easy. Sometimes selling is not their choice or it just has to happen. Usually buying is their choice, but sometimes it's a step down or a step up.
Yep.
But you're helping the transition.
Yeah.
And you're helping them meet their goals, which oftentimes, you know, when you start asking, it sounds like one thing, and then when you start learning about someone and getting to know them, you realize it's not quite what they said, and then you can really help them meet their goals.
Yeah.
So sometimes they start out as if, you know, like a seller will start out as if price is the most important thing, but then when you get into it, sometimes it's not just price, it's time frame.
Yep.
And that can make a huge difference in terms of how to price the property correctly.
Yes.
You know, the strategy for selling. And it's complicated, it's
It's-
interesting,
yeah.
it's never a dull moment. as
No,
we
I'm sure.
say.
Yes, I'm sure.
And we have a lot of tools to help us with that too. So,
Good.
yeah.
Good. And so what's if people are in the area and they're, you know, they're going through the village, they can stop in person or check out, you know, those beautiful boards you have. But if they want to check out, a lot of people like to research online, especially if they live
very
far
much
away.
so.
They're looking for that vacation home or looking to move into the area.
Right.
So what's the website and the best way to contact you?
Yeah. We actually find 49% of buyers are finding their own properties on the website.
Yeah.
Or that's where they're starting.
Yeah.
They're finding them first. And then they usually come to a real estate agent at some point in time. Badger Realty can easily be found, as you know, in Mount Washington Valley, right on Main Street. But we also have a website. It's www.badgerrealty, BADGERREALTY.
Yep.
So it's 2 R's back to back
Yep.
.com. Yeah. And I'm Bernie at badgerrealty.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if they wanted to call the office to
Yeah.
talk to,
Yeah.
you know, some people like that old-fashioned
Yeah.
way.
Well,
Isn't that crazy that that's old-fashioned?
No, we have a wonderful staff, and when the people call into the office, they get transferred to somebody who is right there at the office.
Oh,
so
good.
that is, we don't have a holding process.
Oh, nice.
So that's nice, and someone who will pick up, you know, and answer the questions of the buyer or would-be seller. Oftentimes we can meet the person that same day, so it's really a nice, friendly, and family type of an atmosphere we have
good.
at Badger Realty. But yeah, the phone number is 603-356-5757.
Oh yeah, that's a good
That's
one to
an
remember. I
easy one
remembered
to
that one. I
remember,
was
yeah.
like, oh, that's easy to remember. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And and you guys cover a lot. You know, the Jackson location, and then you've got the North Conway right in the heart of the village. And then where's your third location again up north?
Right in the Gorham area.
Gorham, that's
Yep,
right. Yep.
yep.
I didn't know if it was Gorham or Berlin. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, and the tools that Badger Realty puts together, they're very easily readable. We have a toolkit for sellers. Gives you a lot of information about what our process is. It gives you information about where we put the property once it goes onto the website.
Okay.
I don't know if people know this, but we're also part of a group called Leading Real Estate Companies of the World.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So instead of a franchise, we have our own independence, but yet we network with companies in the world on the same level and get
Nice.
marketing and tool information from them.
Wow.
We are also part of a company called Keeping Current Matters and CMA Toolkit. This is a product, for instance, How to Sell Your House, that Keeping Current Matters help us put together. And these are on our website, as
Oh.
well as our Badger Realty brochure. But if people wanted to email Bernie at badgerrealty.com, I could email you a copy of
Oh,
this,
nice.
or they
Yep.
could pick it up at the office.
Nice.
So yeah, Badger's a great place to work. Very family friendly, goal orientated, and we try to meet the needs of the buyers and the sellers.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely having you on the
You
show,
as
Bernadette.
well.
Thank you so much for being on the show and explaining the process a little bit more in depth.
Very nice
It's
to
really
meet you.
lovely
Thank you.
to know more about it. And if you're looking for a home in the area, even if it's just a dream at this point in the game, or if you, you know, second home, first home, you're just looking to move out of where you are at and come live into this beautiful area that we're in the Mount Washington Valley, or for whatever reason, feel free to contact Bernie at Bernie
Yes,
is what
correct.
we like to
Bernadette,
be called.
Bernie, yep.
At Badger Realty, and make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.